Have you ever felt suspended between who you were and who you're becoming during a life transition phase? Stay tuned for why this in between space is not something to rush, but something to trust. Welcome back to the Resilient MD, the podcast and YouTube channel where women physicians explore how to care deeply without losing themselves in the process. I'm Dr. Anna McDowell, certified life coach, allergist, and guide for physicians navigating seasons of quiet transformation. In the last episode, we talked about the signal, that quiet but persistent discomfort that tells you something no longer fits. Today, we're talking about what often comes next. After the signal is recognized, after you admit that something feels off, there is often a pause. You may not know what's next. You may not feel ready to act. You may feel suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. This is where many high achieving women panic, and especially women physicians. Because medicine trained us to move quickly, decide decisively, and fix problems fast. But transformation doesn't work on that timeline. This in between space has a name. It is called the cocoon. And despite how it feels, it's not a problem to solve. It is really a phase to honor. The cocoon is the in between phase of transformation when the old identity no longer fits, but the new one hasn't fully formed yet. It can feel disorienting, quiet, tender, unproductive, uncertain, and yet it is one of the most important stages of becoming. I want to say this clearly because so many women physicians and high achieving people need to hear it. You are not behind, you are not broken, and you are definitely not failing. You are between identities. The old version of you, the one who knew exactly who she was and how to show up, no longer fits. But the new version hasn't fully formed yet. That can feel disorienting. It can feel empty, and it definitely feels scary. But in transformation time frame, this is not stagnation. It's reorganization time. Even when change is chosen, even when it brings relief, there can be a shock. Shock at no longer introducing yourself the same way. Shock at not moving at the same pace. Shock at releasing a role that shaped your identity for years. This doesn't mean that decision was wrong. It means that the identity was real. The cocoon is where old structures dissolve, right? Before new ones are ready to stand. And the solution can feel like grief, even when it's necessary. You are allowed to mourn what you are outgrowing. And here's something we don't talk about enough. Your body transforms more slowly than your mind. You may intellectually know your decision makes sense, but your nervous system is still recalibrating after years of urgency, responsibility, and constant output. So if you feel tired or foggy or emotionally tender, that is not to be considered a regression. That's really integration. The cocoon is not empty. It is deeply active. It's just not visibly productive. If you're a mid-career woman physician who feels frustrated at work, emotionally drained, or quietly burned out, this is for you. Not because you're failing, but because you've been carrying too much for too long. The Resilient MD is a 6-week one-on-one coaching program created to help women physicians reclaim their time, energy, and sense of agency. We focus on the thoughts driving your stress, the actions that keep you stuck, and the mindset shifts that create meaningful, lasting changes. As 2026 begins, you don't need a resolution rooted in guilt or pressure. You deserve one rooted in care. This is not about forcing transformation, it's about easing into it with guidance, structure, and compassion. If you're ready to make this year count in a way that actually feels supportive, you can begin simply by signing up for the Resilient MD. You don't have to do this alone anymore. This phase also invites us to radically redefine what productivity is. No output, not efficiency, not achievement, but presence. Can you be yourself without improving the moment? Think about that. Can you rest without justifying it? Without feeling guilty, without feeling shame? Can you pause without immediately planning what's next? For many women that are in high demanding professions, and especially women physicians, this feels almost unsafe. But presence is not a detour from transformation. It is the work, really. Urgency is often mistaken for responsibility, but urgency is usually fear. Fear of falling behind, fear of wasting time, fear of losing relevance. Releasing urgency is not quitting, it is an act of self trust. Let me say this again. Releasing urgency is an act of self trust. Trust that you don't need to rush your becoming. Trust that clarity will come without force. Trust that growth doesn't require suffering. In this butterfly era, the cocoon is not something to escape. It is something to respect. I'll leave you with a reflection to sit with this week. What am I no longer forcing myself to be? Let that answer come slowly. Let it be incomplete. Let it be kind. That is the cocoon work for you. If you are in a season that feels quiet, uncertain, or unfamiliar, welcome. Welcome to the cocoon. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not late. And you do not need to rush your wings. Transformation does not have to be painful to be powerful. You only need permission. This is my butterfly year where I choose alignment over urgency and allow myself to become gently and without force. I want that for you also. Now, if you know someone that needs to hear how transformation can be powerful without being painful, please share this episode with them. And have you subscribed yet? This is a good way to make sure you don't miss any episodes. You really want to listen to the next one when we will discuss how you can deal with ambiguous feelings. Now, are you looking to get more time back in your week? The free time management guide outlines exactly how to reclaim up to 10 hours weekly with clear, doable strategies. It is the perfect next step after the time management series. You can download it at annamcdowell.com/guide or in the link below. Your feedback means so much. If you found today's episode helpful, please consider leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or your favorite platform and liking the video on YouTube. Every single one helps this podcast grow and support amazing people like you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting this space. And thank you for honoring your becoming. I'm Dr. Anna McDowell, a resilient MD just like you. I'll see you next week.